Hey gang, it's Captain Clayface here. Welcome back to another episode of Imma Sculpt. In today's episode, we are going to be sculpting our favorite brunette outcast, Wednesday Addams. Now, we've seen Wednesday appear in many different forms over the years, from comic strips to the TV series to live-action movies to animated movies, even wholesome, family-friendly Halloween costumes. And of course, most recently on the popular show Wednesday that appears on Netflix. So with all that long, rich history to pull from, let's grab ourselves some clay and get started. As is the case with most of my sculpts, I start with a basic wire armature. Now normally I would bulk it up with aluminum foil before putting clay on, but Wednesday is on the petite side, so I figured we could get away with just putting the clay directly onto the armature. Since at this point I'm not doing any fine details yet, I'm just going to use my hands to add and blend clay until I get the basic shape that I want. Here I am shaping out the arms before I move them into place. I kind of wanted to go with a pose that says something like, "What are you looking at, boomer?" Or, "I am not amused. Ugh." These hands. These dirty hands. Seriously, if I was to ever make a compilation video of all the bloopers and monstrosities that I've sculpted, half of that video would be on Wednesday's hands. So many failures. So many failures. And that's okay. One of the things I love about sculpting with clay is that you are only limited by your skill set, and your skill set can be leveled up. And what better way to level up being able to sculpt hands than having to sculpt the same set of hands 16 times? I'm not saying that it took me 16 tries to get Wednesday's hands right, but I'm not saying that. As I added clay here for the legs, I tapered it towards the bottom, one because I didn't want her to have cankles, and two, I wanted to use the part with the wire going through to be the heel of her shoe. Man, it is hard as hell to sculpt around a camera. I really wasn't prepared for that when I started this whole venture, and this almost ended up on the scrap floor, but I think you can kind of still make out how I sculpted her face here, so I decided to keep it. I baked the head separately before attaching it to the body. This just makes things a lot easier moving forward, particularly when I got down to sculpting the hair. This is the simplest way I know how to make hair braids out of clay without actually having to braid the clay. Ain't she purty? The paint colors that I use for making skin tones is red, yellow, brown, and white. And then you can play around with the ratios a little bit until you get the exact shade that you want. Or, if you're anything like me, you could just slop it together and then have Mrs. Clayface tell you how wrong you are because you're completely colorblind. I've probably covered this in previous videos, but the type of paint that I use is an acrylic paint with a matte finish. I go with matte because I think it looks better. You might go with a satin or a gloss if you're a satiny, glossy kind of person. Let me tell you, these little polka dots took me a really long time to paint. The jury's out on if it was worth it. And there's my take on Wednesday Addams. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Just do it. You know you want to do it, so just do it. Do it now. I'll see everybody on the next episode of Imma Sculpting. Goodbye.
I'll be the victim.
All your life.